So hey, welcome back to the channel. This is Rick. From time to time I do product reviews. This is going to be on a product review and maybe a slight install. I don't know how much I'm going to delve into the install portion of it, but I have a problem and you may have the same problem, and we're going to fix that problem together. I have a large bathroom here. This is our modern farmhouse build. If you haven't seen that description of what we have here, we built this in South Carolina. Look down there in the description. There'll be a link to my channel. I appreciate you check that out. So let's get to this. What we're having a problem with is we've got condensation issues. And when we have an open shower like this design here, you get a lot of this condensation that comes off the heat, into the room here, and it will condense on our cabinets, on our mirrors, on our globes, and I'll show you some footage of that next. What the builder did was he put in a small ceiling fan, and he could only put in a 70 CFM, because what happens is our floor joists are 2x6, and which is like 2 by 5.5 inches, not even 2 inches either. And they've only got so much room that they can get this fan assembly in. So I researched this for months on end, and I have not been able to find any kind of fan on the aftermarket, regular market, through the box stores that would accommodate what I already have in a larger capacity with a larger capacity blower motor, fan motor. So I've had to look at some other outside of the box ways of maybe fixing this situation. What I've come up with, I've seen them used in grow tents for people that are growing whatever they're growing in their grow tents. It'll pull out the moisture and the hot air. So they're familiar with having moisture, it's going through their fan, shall we say. So I'm thinking, okay, that might work. It's going to be on an external basis. I'm going to mount it upstairs in the attic space. I'm going to tie it into the existing duct that already ties into this fan right here. And I'm going to gut this fan motor out. It's already tied into the ducting system. I'm not going to have to modify that too much. And I'll try to show that. And then we'll just somehow MacGyver the grill so that it'll go back up in there, because the clips are actually on the motor, and I'll show that too, to where it secures that grill up against the ceiling. But when we get done here, hopefully it's going to look like the existing fan is still in place, but now we've got a whole nother system that's going to work tremendously better. We're looking at maybe 200 CFMs versus a 70 CFM. This bathroom, if I spin around here, is roughly 12 by probably 20. So you're over 200 square foot. So that kind of gives you an idea. It's a large room. Now, hey, another thing, you see these switches right here? I just did a video on them. That was the first thing before I did this, and you might want to check that out. I'll put a link to that down at the bottom. Those are automatic switches right here. Works great. They're timed 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 2 hours, 4 hours. You can also use them on lighting for outside exterior lighting if you need to. Switches are going to need to be mounted inside, but this will time out if you have like a security light on the outside and forget to turn it off at night, put it on for 4 hours, it'll go off, you're good to go. Well, this is going to be for our fan setup here, and that should take care of the room. If we want to leave the room and not worry about the fan running, we'll put it on there for 30 minutes or whatever after a hot shower, and that should clean the room out and then shut off. And it does work. Works perfect. Override button, shuts off. Alright, so there's our culprit right there, if you can see. That's going to get gutted out. I'm going to pull that cover down and I'm going to gut that fan out. And hopefully I'll be able to show you that. Okay, so you can see after even a 5-minute shower, not really hot, there's tons of condensation. It's like built up on the globes of the lights and also on the mirrors. It gets much worse if you go longer than that. And that right there, that 70 CFM fan just isn't going to do the job. Okay, these are the materials that I've rounded up. I've got some 4-inch hose clamps that are going to go on the existing duct up in the attic once I cut it and splice it. And this is the fan. This is an M4 to Tjernlund Products Incorporated. It says they've been around since 1938. I did contact them. I told them I was going to do a review on this. They did not send me a fan out and didn't seem like they were really interested. So no problem. Bought it on my own. I needed it anyway. And I figured I'd show it to you guys. So let's go ahead and open it up. Came directly from Amazon. I will put links there to Amazon's page. Any kind of residual income that you generate from that really helps the channel and allows me to buy more products, to be honest with you. so we can showcase them on this channel. So here's the owner's manual here. That's the capacities, fan rated outputs, and it's probably for all their fans. Like I said, this is a model M4 and I believe it's around 200 CFMs. Here's the wiring diagrams that you need to know, how to install it. I'm not going to get into that. I am not an electrician by trade. I am a DIY guy, so I'm going to give you a disclaimer with all my videos. Do it at your own risk, but hopefully this should be fairly easy and self-explanatory, just like the light switches. Has warnings to reduce the risk of electric shock, etc. How to test the operation. This is what you come here for. Wait till you see this. And I'll show you the comparisons between what is up in there now and this bad boy. Look at that. Now obviously you're going to have an inlet and an outlet. It should have a arrow, I would imagine. It does, right there. Tells you the rotation of the fan. This is the 4-inch model, like I said. It goes in this direction here with the rotation, and then the airflow goes in on this side and out on that side. So it's going to discharge out of my home through the existing vents that I have on the exterior of the house with the vent that's already installed. Now you can install this on a couple of different vents if you wanted to, and it work as a whole house system, but right now I'm just going to do it with the one. I don't need to go gutting all the rest of them out also. Looks like it's pretty well made. It's got a nice fan shroud in there. Hopefully it's not too loud. Hopefully we get some kind of an idea once I plug it in. It's got a nice heavy duty cord here. I'm probably going to have to cut this cord and get the wires out and splice it in. Unless I go in this box, if I have access, I can wire it in directly with my cable. We'll have to see how that goes. Like I said, I do have hose clamps. They're going to go right on there with the hose coming in and the discharge going out. It has feet right here that are bolted into it, pretty substantial. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put some rubber grommet underneath of these feet up in the attic space. So it's going to mount to probably a sheet of plywood or some joists. And just in case it gets a little vibration to it, it doesn't transfer down through the ceiling and make it really loud down here. So that I will do. So these are some of the supplies you're going to need for this. I've got, for me, I needed about 15 feet of 12-2 wire, meaning that there is a neutral and a hot wire and a ground wire. Now my builder has the 12-2 wire in here, and I just went ahead and matched it up with what they have. I'm good with that. Now the manufacturer says you can get away with a 14-2, which is fine. This is just a little thicker wire, so I might have gone a little bit overkill. All told, with all the stuff I have, probably I'm into this about 150 bucks, I guess. This is close to $100 for the fan, which is comparable if you got one of those really fancy high-end fans in your bathroom that don't even have the CFM that this one's going to even put out. So I have that. I have a fish tape if I can't get the wire in there. This is a finished ceiling, and up above that ceiling, there's a bonus room, a frog if you're familiar with that. You're going to need some snips, some wire cutters, electrical tape, and I've got some scissors to cut my flex duct apart. They're high-end fisters, and I've got an assortment of the right wire nuts that I'm going to need to also finish the job. So let's gut it out. Alright, so when we get done, it's going to look identical to that. Look like it wasn't even removed. That's the idea. So with these, you're going to pull them down. They have little clips. You squeeze these little clips in on the side and they come right out. Now the only challenge we're going to have is this little holder here is where these clips go in to keep this grill up against the ceiling. So I'm going to have to fabricate another little holder to put these clips in, since this motor is going to come out of here. So I have 1, 2, 3 screws to remove this out. They do require a Phillips. Now I'm working at my own pace at a limited capacity, so working overhead is kind of hard for me these days. So this job is going to take me a little bit longer probably than it will you. But don't let it get frustrated. If this takes me a day, I'm going to film it off and on and I'll splice it together. So that's 1 screw comes out, and then let me go ahead and take the other ones. I'll put you on pause. Okay, so through the beauty of editing, we're pulling it out. Now it has an electrical connection. You're going to have to disconnect that. This plugs in, and that pulls right out. And there you go. And look at that, isn't that nice? That's what happens with new construction. When the electricians don't bag everything up, your painter just decides he's going to spray everything. That can't be good for your motor. So, if you see these little notches right here, one there and one there, that's what that grill slides up into, and it locks in up against your ceiling. So I've got to fabricate something like that, little straps or something that I can slide mine in with that duct that's up there. Now that we're removing this. Look at the size of this fan compared to that one over there. So I'm going to take you over here, and now you can see what we're working with. Now there's tape up there because I've gone ahead and I've drilled a hole with a hole saw to see if I could find my wire coming across there, and I could. And then I just taped it over. It's no big deal. We're just using that housing as our duct. If you look around this way, you're going to see where the duct connects to. We're just going to leave it in there. No sense messing up what will work for us. So I'm going to take that electrical box apart right there, which houses our wires coming in. And then I'm going to refeed wire above there, going all the way across the ceiling line into the attic space. There's my wire coming in after I demoed out the little electrical box. Now, before you do anything like this and you start getting this far into it, you want to kill your power. You don't want to get zapped by this. Okay, so I went ahead and I plugged it in just to see what kind of sound decibels we have. It's not too bad. I'm talking over it. Of course, it is sitting on our counter right here. But I just wanted to give you a little indication of what kind of velocity we're talking about for suction and discharge. So here's their owner's manual, which is a thicker type of paper, and I'll show you. It would blow right out of my hand if I let it go. That's pretty darn good. Now we'll come around to the suction side. It's pulling it right in. Just to give you an idea. The other one, I did a paper test and it barely even sucked up. I had to get right on top of it. Now, full disclosure with all my reviews, this is like a cast iron metal. It's like a spray coating on here. The box is plastic. The fan inside is plastic, but then it's got a metal shroud in there. And I didn't hear any vibration when I fired that up. It's metal inside here. I mean, you're not going to see that with a lot of different things. Now, the only thing that I have to disclose that I wasn't too happy with, it does not come with any mounting bolts. It does not come with any clamps. I will put links at the bottom of my page on YouTube for where I sourced everything. But I had to get some clamps. Not a major deal breaker, but for what you spend on this, almost $100 with your shipping, they could throw in some kind of mounting bolts and some kind of isolator in case the fan does want to make some rattling noises up there in the attic space. But all in all, I am happy with that. Nothing's bent. It's made out of pretty good durable metal there. Here's where my pipe comes from the bathroom, the exhaust pipe. I've cut that in half. It exhausts out over there. And I'm going to mount my fan right here. I've got my wire pulled and I'm ready to wire up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some rubber pieces underneath of those legs there, and I'm going to screw it down. I've got my clamps on. I'm going to go ahead and tie my clamps in to my exhaust hose. Okay, that completes the attic install. We're tied into the ductwork coming from the main bathroom. Like I said, it goes out there. I wired it directly. I'll have to do some cable management another day. It's hotter than a firecracker up here right now. So that's pretty much it. Then we'll go downstairs. Okay, so now you can see through the pilot hole that I put up there with my hole saw. I was very careful not to cut the outer sheathing of the wire, and took my time, and I snaked it all along the ceiling joist there. So now I have my existing wire that came into the fan motor, and now my wire that I'm going to tie into it. Once I pull it up a little bit more, I'm going to put wire nuts on there and wire those all together, be able to catch my grill so it'll look like it's all factory like it was. If you look over on this side here, you see where
I got the duct coming in there with the suction and discharge. And now we'll try to put the grill up. Okay, here goes nothing. Been a long day. Couple days. Just put it in there in my little brackets I made. Slide that in. And there we go. Looks just like it did, but now with about 200 CFM worth of suction. And we'll go ahead and we'll turn it on. You can hear it. Here comes a real test. Let's see if there's any difference. Yeah, I'd say. Time will tell. So hey, thanks for watching. The subscribe button's been running down there the whole time. Can you click that for us? We'd appreciate it. That'll subscribe to our channel, and then smash that bell icon. It'll notify you immediately when we have any kind of videos coming up, because you never know what kind of videos I'm going to come up with on my channel. Please share with your family and friends. Give us a like and a thumbs up. It lets YouTube know that you like our videos, and they'll rank us higher. And they'll actually put us on the search engine for Google at a higher ranking. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.